They're going to be, again, we got a best of 5 here. Winner moving on to the winners quarterfinals. Loser will be sent down into the second chance bracket. Of course, we still have a couple more matches to go after this, which I believe both of them are going to be in that second chance bracket. We have got, we've got John Phoenix and Zarkonis. We just mentioned them earlier. And before that is going to be the Real Zero and Gruntiatus. And those matches will be starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, respectively. But here we go. Game number 1 between Skunky48 and RNJesus in the winners round of 16. Let's go.
Yeah, here we go. RNJesus sticking center, or RNJesus was on. Forget it. I don't even know where they were.
It's all right. It happens because things move so quickly here in Smash TV. And I'll tell you what, it is going to be RNJesus with a little bit of a hole shot against Skunky, but it's pretty close. It's a low 39 versus a low 40, about a 1 second lead into collect power-ups. But let's see what the all-important opening drops are going to be for both of these runners. And for RNJesus, it'll be a foot, but an opening orb for Skunky48.
Oh yeah, that's the stuff right there.
Absolutely, but RNJesus does get rockets, which will help him keep afloat until he does get an orb. But Skunky, anything you can do, I can do better, gets rockets of his own.
Yeah, the power-ups are flowing for Skunky. RNJesus, not so much.
Yeah,
but he's okay.
Wow. Yeah, 78 versus an 80. It's about a 2 second lead for Skunky plus the orb. So RNG is going to be wanting to look for that orb here in Eat My Shrapnel. And unfortunately, another victim of the swirl. How many times have we seen swirl deaths in Eat My Shrapnel? Well, if it does get him an orb, it was worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe that cost RNJesus any time there, since he used the invul and the keep the shrapnels under control, so we're still fine here.
Absolutely. Minimal time loss, if anything, on RNJesus' side. Skunky keeping that orb nice and healthy, just finishing out the rest of the Mr. Shrapnels. 18 that we have to take out. It'll be a 2-minute flat into Eat My Shrapnel. And you're absolutely right, Aquas. RNJesus lost no time. Still only 2 seconds back. But the drops here are going to be critical here in Total Carnage. Nothing to write home about for either player so far. You want to keep control of the middle, keep those firing lanes high, but these runners are going to have to stroll through. But Skunky, this will help him out. He gets the Razor Shield.
Yep, advantage Skunky now with rockets.
Oh yeah, the rich getting richer here. Skunky trying to take the lead here. He has a 2 second lead. He's trying to make that lead grow. And with drops like this, but RNJesus though, that was a dangerous pickup there. Those foot soldiers, they were waiting for him on that south door, but RNJesus keeping that orb healthy.
Yeah, I would have went for it. And he made it work. Skunky with his own razor. He's clearing out the room. They're both clearing out the room.
Beautiful. It's going to be a 2:55, and RNJesus keeping pace. It's still a 2 second lead. They had even Total Carnage rooms. I'd say it's time for Taco Bell. Taco Bell. Product placement with Taco Bell. Don't drop the chalupa. Alrighty, so a 2 second lead for Skunky going into tank trouble. No weapon for either player. First one is a spreader, not bad for Skunky. RNJesus with a nuke.
Skunky following the orb into the location of the drop. Thankfully, no orb drop. It looked planned almost.
Yeah, that was very risky there on Skunky's part, and he's going to get another spreader here. RNJesus with a nuke will be able to clear out the second gunner. So now it's trying to keep control of the middle and trying to keep those weapons. But Skunky getting a little too aggressive and loses his orb. RNJesus with a chance to take the lead here, and back-to-back rockets. He's definitely going to have the lead.
Yeah, the purple shirt got that orb on Skunky's side. The faster footmen of the green.
And indeed, we do have another flip-flop of the lead, a 4:07 for RNJesus, and Skunky somehow avoided that tank bullet right there. And
that was a definitely important dodge, possibly here.
And he's about 10 seconds back of RNJesus, and he is going to take the death and go for the spreader here.
Yeah, for sure. There we go, plugging away. Some good spreader action there. Get the arm off.
Yep, got the first arm off. Grenades. Skunky has both gunners off on his side. There's a spreader. Did he recognize it too late? No, I think he should be
No, it's
fine.
perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's going to be even more devastation than RNJesus spreader.
Yeah, we're pretty much going to have an equalization of spreaders here. And lobbers now for Skunky, lobbers for RNJesus. Skunky changing it up to rockets, RNJesus changing it up to grenades. And it's a full form lead right now for RNJesus. An empty drop though for Skunky. He needs to spreader though. Little invulnerability left. He can have a chance to catch up here.
Ooh, those manuals were kind of nice.
Very nice manuals. Changes up to lobbers here. We may see a change. We do. Back and forth. These two go boy, oh boy. This game is fire. We've seen so many lead changes.
Oh,
and another spreader.
Oh, the spreaders on both sides.
Whoa. Advantage still though, Skunky. He's gonna get to final form. If he gets the transfer damage,
that was transfer. That was transfer.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, wow. And then he had the weapon to finish it off.
Very nicely done. So Skunky, he's gonna take home game number 1, about a 550 here. And indeed a 550 for Skunky. A great opener for Skunky. And RNJesus, he's gonna have a pretty good opener himself.
Wow, that was so close. The decisive win at the beginning from Skunky with some risky plays, and then he ended up taking it.
Hey, turned a 10-second deficit into a 17-second win there. So GG to Skunky taking game number 1 here in this best-of-5 showdown. What a match. I mean, there were so many lead changes between these two runners. It could have gone either way, but Skunky getting just a little bit better RNG on Mutoid, man. So he'll draw first blood.
Now, RNJesus is going to feel a little pressure from that.
Oh, no question about it here. RNJesus definitely has the capability of bouncing back. We've seen him do it so many times in tournament play. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw RNJesus equalize here in game number 2.
Yeah, I think it definitely could happen. Both played pretty good, I say there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, RNJesus arena play maybe just a tad bit better than Skunky's. I mean, Skunky did lose the orb, but he had some nice movements. I mean, that key right there was not getting hit by that stray bullet from that tank, because that could have been a big time penalty, and that comeback may not happen if Skunky took that death.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I remarked about that, and yeah, that probably would have been the game changer. But of course, that would have changed the fate of the drops completely.
Exactly. They could have been better, or they could have been tons worse. So yeah, it's easy to play Super Smash TV backwards, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Everything you do changes RNG. So at no point can you claim you had the run when you can't, predict the RNG at any moment in time.
Yeah, we've been playing this game for this again. This is the 7th annual tournament. We've yet to find the manipulation where we can determine how we can get what drop and when.
Probably maybe a game genie would help out with that or something.
Something like that, I'm sure. But both of these runners are going to be ready to go here for game number 2. Skunky48 trying to take a 2-0 lead. RNJesus trying to tie up this match at 1 game apiece. And here we go, game number 2 between these two outstanding runners.
Really curious to see if both players stay consistent as they did in that first game. Then we'll have even better match here.
And when you have a 6-0X and it ends up being a losing time, it just means that your opponent got a little bit lucky, because, you're going to win a lot of games with a 6-0X in Super Smash TV tournament play, but not in this case for RNJesus.
Yeah. Tied.
Yeah, they are practically even coming out of Arena 1, both of them with 38 and 39s respectively. So anybody's game right now early on here. That first drop is going to be so important for both of our runners. Let's see what we get. Skunky, invulnerability, same for RNJesus, so level pegging.
The invulnerability, you can, hug a door and maybe get some kills that way, but then you're going to be farther away from the center, which is going to be a longer time to grab a drop if it's across the screen.
They both had nukes that they ignored. The spreader versus a foot, RNJesus with the advantage, and then they both get grenades. More grenades now for Skunky, trying to buy a better drop here, and does buy a better drop, getting the all-important orb.
RNJesus a slightly better play there. Gets out first. But they had about equal drops, I would say, minus the orb.
RNJesus did have that one extra spreader where Skunky was using grenades, so that that better efficiency with the spreader was what enabled RNJesus to take the lead. But if he does not find an orb here in Eat My Shrapnel, we are going to see a lead change eventually. Rockets for both. That'll help keep the room under control for RNJesus.
Would have liked to see RNJesus grab that key a bit sooner. He needs an orb.
Oh, absolutely. You got to fish for an orb here because he's running out of time here. He just has to finish off the Mr. Shrapnel. He's got plenty of rockets to do so. Skunky's not going to really have a weapon to finish off the room. It's a 212 for RNJesus. It's a 214 for Skunky. So still that 2-second lead for RNJesus, but we're going to see another change in leadership if we don't see an orb on RNJesus' side soon. Gets a razor shield, but Skunky drops the orb.
Oh, it's even.
Oh my goodness gracious. Just when you thought it was going to look like that RNJesus was going to be double digits behind, Skunky gives it right back and opens the door open for RNJesus.
And yeah, the longer Skunky doesn't see the orb, the bigger the regret of that mistake.
Precisely. I mean, right now, the weapons are favoring Skunky at the moment. They are now both sporting a razor shield. But if this holds, Skunky is going to hold the lead. It's just not going to be by as much as it could have been because RNJesus, we're now 3 minutes in, still without an orb. These rockets could help him get that lead back.
Yep, he's doing what he needs to do here. But Skunky, oh wow, they're pretty much the same here.
Yeah, 314 versus a 315. It's even closer than game number one. It's only a 1-second game going into the bonus room, and I've already used up my product placement, so we're just gonna have to deal with it.
Maybe try the neighboring Taco John's.
Right? Oh, Taco John's. That takes me back, Aquas.
Yeah, they're not even around anymore here.
No,
I don't think they are.
They're definitely around here. Yes, those good old, those good old potato lays here. But back to the importance. And RNJesus getting shot down by the gunner here, trying to take it down that second one. And RNJesus gonna have to use the pea shooter, is able to take down the second one. But there's some vitamin R for Skunky48. But the orb finally appearing just under 4 minutes in for RNJesus. This is anybody's game right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that death was a little. I mean, that's a time loss when you die, as you would expect. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Razor on RNJesus' side. Gonna scramble to get it.
Skunky getting some vitamin R here, and rockets on the feet now for RNJesus. It's gonna be very close to see who's gonna be coming out first, but it's looking like it's gonna be RNJesus. Late orb for Skunky, so he will have an opportunity to do the ball buster. It's a 430 for RNJesus, but neither of these players are gonna be very happy about their arena play. 438 for Skunky. That's about an empty drop. That's the lead that we're talking about right now, so still anybody's game.
Nice grabbing that drop from RNJesus to get the next drop going before Mutoid Park's over.
Oh, but then RNJesus gets flexed, so no ball buster for RNJesus. Let's see if Skunky can take advantage. No.
RNJesus is just a sliver ahead here.
But this is about to change unless...
Oh, wait. Oh, no, wait. Go down, maybe. Go down.
The dreaded parking of the spreader, and Skunky getting a bribe, apparently, from RNJesus on that one, because that was a prime location. Skunky could have easily taken the lead. Now there's a player 2 spreader, and this could work out if our Mutoid stays right there. He could get a lot of damage, RNJesus.
Yeah, he's getting a few shots.
Yeah, he is. He is really building a lead now on Skunky.
Oh, man, the block. Okay, so Rockets, Skunky taking the death, hoping for that spreader drop. Invulnerability.
It is not looking good here for Skunky. It's looking really good for RNJesus to equalize this match at 1 game apiece. Lobbers now for RNJesus. Could send him to the penultimate form. Rockets or Skunky. There's a spreader, but that is in a player 2 spot, so he will not take the death here. He's going to try for more manuals here.
Yeah, that was the right decision for sure.
And he's got final form, and he's gonna now that he's got final form, he's gonna change it up to lobbers. So he's probably gonna need one more drop to secure the victory here, but it's looking real good for RNJesus to send us to game number 3 tied at 1 apiece. There's a spreader for Skunky, but it is gonna be way too little, way too late, as RNJesus finishes off Mutoid Man, wins game number 2, and we are tied at 1 game apiece, Aquas.
Yeah, a thrilling conclusion to that one for sure.
Time of 6:40 for RNJesus. He's probably not going to be pleased about that run, but Skunky's definitely not going to be pleased. I mean, he sees that I thought for a moment he was probably going to wave the white flag, but he's going to try and finish this up.
Yeah, might as well here. Not too far back, really. Looks like it'd be probably get the kill on this. I'm pretty sure you can get the final form destroyed with one lobber pickup, but like pretty much all of it has to hit.
Yeah, I mean, Skunky did get enough of it to hit, so it does finish off Mutoid Man. But yeah, this time it was RNJesus who got the big time RNG, but it all started with that parked spreader on Mutoid Man that it turned a potential lead for Skunky into a 44-second loss, and we are tied at 1 apiece.
That was really where it changed, huh?
But hey, you love to see it. This is going to go at least 4 games, Aquas.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Neither player is going to be particularly pleased about their arena play than that last game. They're going to be hoping for a rebound in game number 3. And I think we're going to see a much faster entry time into Mutoid Man from both runners.
Yeah, I would agree to that. Do you know which American Gladiator RNJesus avatar is? Is that Turbo?
No, that is Malibu from season 1 of American Gladiators, all the way back from 1989. But unfortunately, injuries forced him to call it a career. He was a short-lived gladiator on that show. But yeah, that's Malibu.
Too many tennis balls to the nuts, probably.
I want to say the injury, though, happened in Human Cannonball, if my memory serves me correctly.
Oh, what happens in that one again?
Okay, in Human Cannonball, and this is also in the 1990, was it 91 or 92? It's actually also in the NES version as well. The gladiator, you have to be in a tuck position, and you try to knock the gladiator off a jousting pedestal, but you have to be in the tuck position in order to do that. But in the first season, that rule was not applied, and that caused a lot of injuries. And, eventually that event got retired in American Gladiators.
Were they just like swinging in on a rope? Was that what it was?
That's exactly. Yep.
Yeah, kind of a half-baked idea for an event.
Yep. Human Cannonball. That was the name of the event. It was around, I believe, the first 2 seasons. I think it came back in like the 5th season, and then it was gone. And then it was gone for good. Just too many injuries, unfortunately.
Yeah, I used to love watching that as a kid.
Oh, me too. I'd come home from church every Sunday, and the first thing I would do is tune it into American Gladiators.
The vibe of that is really not far from what we got here with Smash TV too, so it is fitting.
Absolutely here. And at the end of the first room, they are dead even again, Aquas. This is what you love to see. Tied 1 game apiece, and they both have a 41 going into collect power-ups.
Okay, let's see what they get.
A foot on the feet for RNJesus, a spreader for Skunky. Back-to-back feet now for RNJesus. So right now, advantage Skunky. RNJesus, though, picking up a spreader of his own. And then picks up the orb, and RNJesus going to get that advantage back unless Skunky gets an orb quick. They both get rockets. Now, because Skunky doesn't have an orb, if he can fire, and he gets back-to-back rockets, so this will be interesting to see who comes out of this room first. Both of them getting really, really good weapons. It is going to be RNJesus with a 121, 123 for Skunky. So RNJesus picks up a couple of seconds thanks to that orb. But Skunky, if he can find an orb here in Eat My Shrapnel, but he gets clubbed down by the green shirt there, and that could be a penalty.
Yep, no time lost from what I could tell, so he's okay. I only had 2 shrapnels on screen there, maybe even only 1.
All right, so the death didn't mean anything. It would only mean something if you had like 3 or 4 shrapnels on screen. Then you're looking at a major time penalty here. So, and Skunky is going to get the orb, so he needed to see that.
Okay, so RNJesus will probably maintain 3 seconds here. Or longer.
202 versus 205 or 206. He gained about a second, maybe a second and a half. Just a better ending to that room there than what Skunky had. But this is definitely anybody's game, which is what you want to see here going into total carnage. But right now the weapon's running dry for both players. Skunky ignoring the grenade. RNJesus picking up a nuke. Now he sees a feed. He's fishing for better weapons, and that's risky because you're giving up control of the middle. Skunky definitely not going to go after those grenades. These weapons are terrible for both runners.
Yep, they're just gonna have to hold it down with that orb, get those good firing lanes, and try not to have the guys walk around all the full screen. You want them all grouped up.
There's what something Skunky needed, but RNJesus getting a key at Razor Shield will enable Skunky to keep control of the middle for the rest of the room.
Yeah, that'll increase his
Great
DPS a little bit too. Oh my goodness.
Perfectly timed nuke, and he's going to keep the lead. 257. He's actually going to gain time. A 305. It's RNJesus growing that lead to 8 seconds, so he gained 5 seconds. But that nuke timing there from RNJesus, absolutely perfect.
Yeah, that was insane. That was a surprise nuke towards me. I was just like, what? He's done? Good little lead here, and Razor to start out. Very good.
Great pickup as well, so he can focus on the gunner, keep control of the middle. Skunky had rockets to take with him, so he's able to finish off both gunners, but now he needs something to complement the orb that he is sporting right now, and so far he's not getting anything, and invulnerability not going to really help him too much. RNJesus a couple of pieces of the Razor Shield left to go here, but both of them are definitely having a better Arena 1 so far here, as we are in the closing moments before Muto Man, and RNJesus getting rockets, more rockets to close out tank trouble here. He's gonna keep the lead, probably gain some more time. 406 into Muto Man. Skunky playing tank trouble well, but just the weapons favoring RNJesus. They don't call him RNJesus for nothing. Skunky, again, I told you that they were both going to have a better Arena 1. 419 for Skunky. He is 13 seconds back, though. Let's see if RNJesus can get the ball buster.
Oh, here we go. Whoa, he decides not to go for it.
Yeah, he was a little hesitant. He needed to be more decisive to not forego the ball buster, because now this could enable Skunky to get the ball buster, which he
and the mine is in his way. He can't get those manuals very well.
Yeah, that's unfortunate there for RNJesus. This could enable Skunky to get right back into this. However, an empty drop though for RNJesus as well. So equal opportunity, but here's lobbers now for Skunky, and he could take the lead here. Lobbers though for RNJesus, yes.
Okay, this one he's gonna get, I think. Spreader on RNJesus' side.
Oh yeah, and this is going to give him the lead back here.
Oh yeah, that was hefty.
Skunky getting an Aquas spreader there, and we do have glitch try, but there's a player one
Another
spreader.
One. It's going to catch him up, probably more than enough.
This is anybody's game right now. They're both on the same form. Final form now for Skunky. He's not going to be able to get to those lobbers here.
He got a little transfer, I think.
He needs another weapon. Low DPS are these rockets, but the lobber should finish it off for Skunky. This should do it.
Wow. RNJesus just falls.
There it is. It'll be another sub-6 for Skunky. His second one of the match.
Could it have came down to that one spreader at the beginning of RNJesus' match that he hesitated for?
Oh, definitely.
One has to wonder.
Absolutely. I mean, RNJesus with the hesitation there, he foregoes the ball buster, and then he doesn't take the death on that spreader. If he was a little bit more decisive, this would have been a lot closer.
Yeah, and like I said, remarked earlier, the mine was in his way when he was trying to get those manuals almost the whole time.
Yep, and now Final Four Mutoid Man doing what Final Four Mutoid Man does best. Empty drop after empty drop, delaying RNJesus' finish here, and he does get it done. It'll be under 640, but Skunky48, one game away from moving on to the winners quarterfinals.
Yeah, RNJesus got a kind of a bad stick at the end there. Otherwise, played fine.
Yeah, they both played really, really well, but Yeah, Skunky turned that 13-second deficit into about a 43-second victory there, just on that spreader right there, and then the lobbers to finish the job to secure that second sub-6 of the match. Skunky, one win away. RNJesus has been in this position before. He is definitely capable of coming back. Can he do so again, or will the bright young star from last year, Skunky48, punch his ticket into the winners quarterfinals? We shall see.
Yeah, exciting stuff. Whew. Good stuff. Good stuff.
I'm liking what I'm seeing from both of these players here. You know, we're seeing some competitive times here, close games going into Mutoid Man, close games going into the bonus room. Right now, Mutoid Man, other than, you know, game number 1, it's been really lopsided for either runner. There's not really been, you know, like the close game where you're talking about under 10 seconds. I'm willing to see that happen.
Yeah, we need one of those here to bring us to game 5, I think.
Definitely here. So must win here for RNJesus to stay alive in the winner's bracket. If Skunky48 takes the victory, he will send RNJesus down into the second chance bracket, and Skunky48 would then have a date with CHX42 in the winner's quarterfinals.
Oh man, the match to play is CHX. Oh boy.
Yeah, Bryce Solf pointed this out, and I pointed this out earlier tonight, that RNJesus was a lucky CHX drop in Game 7 last year away from beating out the silver medalist, and it could have been RNJesus to have been the silver medalist, heck, maybe even the gold medalist last year. That's just the beauty of Super Smash TV. Sometimes these games or matches can come down to just one drop.
Yeah, that is certainly true.
All right, and this time Skunky with a little bit of a hole shot on RNJesus, but still it's close. It's going to be a low 40 versus a mid 41, about a second and a half lead for Skunky going into collect power-ups. So RNJesus is going to need to see a good opening drop here.
Invuln and
Instead, it's
on
Skunky. The rich getting richer, but not to be outdone, Aquas. RNJesus getting a second drop orb.
All right, now we'll just see these guys hold it down, see if they get anything else good to support them in expediting the room, expediting.
Yep, no weapons really to complement the orb for either runner, so it's equal opportunity drops, and they're equal opportunity garbage drops. But RNJesus is taking the lead with a 79. Skunky going to be about 3.5 seconds back with a 123. Now it's all about keeping that orb nice and healthy here in Eat My Shrapnel. Watch out for that swirl. Skunky's missed. Watch out. Does take it down and does get a razor shield plus rockets to help protect him now. So this room should be easy for Skunky. Meanwhile, RNJesus, nothing. And he has grenades on the feet and he's able to avoid them. Yeah, Bryce Alpha pointing out in chat that the reason why RNJesus took that lead, just the firing lane's much more crisp than Skunky's. A 202 for RNJesus. Skunky gonna have a 206, a 4-second lead now for RNJesus.
Yeah, RNJesus definitely has a fairly firm understanding of the game as he runs normal percent as well. So that mode really forces you to have your fundamentals down.
Yep, and in normal and hard percent, you have 3 arenas where you take on Scarface in Arena 2, and of course the Evil MC in Arena 3. Plus the weapon clip is shorter in both modes. Normal mode, you've got only about 3/4 of the clip that you'd have in easy percent, where in hard, you'll have like only half the clip. Skunky gets a razor shield in the bottom, both of them now sporting a razor shield.
Yeah, pretty even drops otherwise. Skunky's probably not going to go for that rocket.
He won't be able to. That razor shield is going to impede his progress, and it is going to be a 256 for RNJesus, but Skunky is right there with a 302 into the bonus room. Again, very close going into tank trouble, and neither player will have any weapons to take with them.
Yeah, anything can happen here, and the beginning of the room is the most important part to see how they manage the madness at the beginning.
All right, so Big opening drop for both runners here. RNJesus getting the
the
ultimate
rocket
opener, Vitamin R for RNJesus. Absolutely. Skunky's open and drop is spreader. Not as good.
Ooh, he almost got sniped.
Yeah, that was very close. Back-to-back spreaders now for Skunky. May be able to get this last gunner off the wall, and he does so. More rockets, though, for RNJesus as Skunky drops his orb.
Ooh. RNJesus went out of his way for those rockets, and it did end up paying off here. I mean, unfortunately, it's Skunky on the opposite side of things, getting a razor.
The razor shield will help him, keep control of the middle, but he'd like to have an orb to complement that razor shield. But meanwhile, RNJesus with another 405 going into the Mutoid Man fight. He'll have an opportunity at the ball buster here, and PB is definitely a possibility if things roll right for RNJesus. Now, Skunky is definitely still in the running, and he's had these comebacks before in this match already, but he's going to have to erase a 16-second deficit.
Oh, man, RNJesus almost got picked off. Okay, there's a spreader. No ball buster.
Yep, did not get the ball buster. Going for the spreader here. Gonna have to manual here. Not really getting many manuals here. Is he gonna switch it up to lobbers? He's gonna switch it up to lobbers. Just not feeling the spreader there. Not feeling the manuals. They're going for the more consistent damage. And hey, he's rewarded with more lobbers.
That's good. Oh, he walked into the spreader there. I don't know. Maybe he could have done something with that as far as dying. Rough. It was kind of a rough spot.
He's got more than a form lead right now on Skunky as both arms have popped off. We're still waiting for the first arm to pop off on Skunky's side.
Yeah, nothing remarkable on Skunky's side yet.
No, he needs to see a spreader here, or we're gonna see a game number 5 here as we now see the rib cage exposed on RNJesus' side. Skunky took the Talia death, got the right location, but the wrong drop.
RNG. Oh, there's a spreader for Skunky. This could be catching up here. This is a nice spot.
Now, that lead, though, may be too great, but this will definitely help. But there's a player 2 spreader. Skunky is going to ignore it and then gets run over. But if it's another spreaders, he did get a glitch toy man out of that, but he is still down by a couple of forms. And there's a spreader, and that's not going to be. But then gets another spreader.
Wait a sec.
Oh, no.
Wait.
Oh, he got it! He got it!
What?
He got it! Oh, we have final form on both sides. RNJesus, if he can keep the shots going, is still going to win this, though.
Oh, no, RNJesus!
Oh, my goodness gracious. Can Skunky steal this one away from RNJesus?
Oh! No. Okay. Oh, God. RNJesus.
Oh, my word. RNJesus hangs on by the skin of his teeth. Skunky not quite able to make the comeback happen. And ladies and gentlemen, we go to a 5th. That was close.
I just wasn't sure how much transfer Skunky had gotten, so it seems he did not get full transfer there.
Yeah, I did not get the full transfer
maybe
damage.
A fourth of it, maybe.
It's a 15-second win for RNJesus. Skunky gaining 1 of those 16 seconds he needed. I mean, the game over obviously didn't help, but that finish right there. This is what Smash TV is all about. It looked like RNJesus was going to run away with this one, but RNJesus can breathe a sigh of relief as he barely survives that comeback attempt from Skunky48, and we go to a decider.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so convenient that you have the transfer damage mechanic at the very end of the game for those clutch comebacks to even occur.
Oh, definitely. Man, oh, man. These 2 runners have given it their all tonight, and it's all going to come down to game number 5. Can Skunky48 make it into the round of 8 for the winner's side, or will RNJesus live up to his nickname and have the RNG gods propel him to the winner's quarterfinals? To me, it's anybody's guess.
Yeah, RNJesus did play a little bit better in the arena there, so we might be seeing a favor on his side at this point.
Yeah, his arena gameplay has definitely been more crisp than Skunky's. Skunky's had the better Mutoid Man luck up to this point. But if RNJesus continues to play these arenas well, to me, it should serve him into moving on to the next round. But honestly, I don't know what's going to happen here. This, like I said, this is anybody's game.
Definitely.
And hey, if anybody wants to make a wager with their channel points on who wins the decider, either Skunky48 or RNJesus, make your predictions now, because we have 26, we have almost 40,000 points in the pot already. Make that 50,000 points.
Jeez.
Oh boy, I'm excited. This has been one of the best matches of the tournament up to this point here. Skunky48 and RNJesus, you know, potentially we could have a top 5 match on our hands here, especially if we see something close here in game number 5.
There's definitely been some back and forths, and it's been keeping it exciting.
All right, so these runners are going to be ready to go very shortly here. Winner take all. Winner moves on to face CHX42 in the winners quarterfinals. The loser will be sent down into the second chance bracket. Here we go. The decider, game number 5. All right, they both have their razor shield manipulations. They both see a foot on exactly the same spot. Skunky picks it up. Grenades on the feet for RNJesus. I don't think he wanted to pick that up. This could give an advantage for Skunky48 coming out of this room, and indeed, he will come out of this room first by considerable amount of time, too.
Yeah, just he had those grenades, and he was just not hitting anything for a bit.
Yeah, 39 versus a 43. It's about a 3.5 second lead for Skunky early on, which doesn't seem like much considering the margins of victory, but momentum is a fickle mistress in this game. And we're seeing nothing but invulnerabilities on both sides right now. We're seeing nothing but trash drops. I mean, RNJesus back-to-back invulnerabilities, then a foot, man, just nothing here. Skunky just fishing, trying to get anything, and he does get an orb.
Okay.
Now, RNJesus does get rockets, and we've seen, oh, but he takes a death, a costly death for RNJesus.
Not great, that.
Now, 124, and then RNJesus is not going to be happy about that. He is 5 seconds back and no orb, but ooh, Skunky again, living dangerously at the start of Eat My Shrapnel, and RNJesus taking another death here. I mean, kind of makes you wondering if he's starting to press a little bit here in this late stages of the match.
I'm not sure if that one was intentional or not, but he did lose time due to force shrapnel on screen for a couple seconds there, so.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how this plays out here. Skunky will finish off the Mr. Shrapnels here, but not really getting the weapon to finish them off. That was the last one. It'll be a 207 for Skunky, but good news for RNJesus. He does get the orb back and still maintains the 5 second deficit. So we go into total carnage, both of them with the orb. So we'll see how this plays out. A spreader for RNJesus in a very dangerous location. Oh my.
Yeah, he knew to run down there with the orb moving away from the door rather than towards the door.
That's a good heads-up play there. You want to time it so that that orb is going away from that door. Otherwise, you could get that orb easily clipped. Skunky had some rockets there. Now some rockets for RNJesus. A nuke there for Skunky in a bad location. Tell you what, the firing lanes hold true here. We may see RNJesus take the lead here coming out of this room, and indeed we do. He has erased that 5 second deficit and is now taken a 3 second lead going into the bonus room again. All 5 of these games, they have been very close going to the bonus room. My word.
RNJesus taking a hefty amount of gifts to hopefully manipulate the RNG in his favor.
Yes, the flesh gods, as Brysolf would call it in his runs, for sure. Let's see if he gets the ultimate opening drop in Tank Trouble. It's a nuke, not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Skunky gets invulnerability, so again, advantage RNJesus, and oh, dangerous there from Skunky. Ooh. I have no idea how he didn't lose the orb there.
I think if the orb shot the enemy that was gonna lose it for him.
And then he does get it clipped. Oh.
Yep. out by that entrance.
This has been kind of Skunky's downfall in the match here. His tank trouble has just not been crisp. RNJesus has been playing this arena very, very well, and he's definitely going to be a double-digit leader here coming out.
This is rotten for Skunky.
Yeah, and he's not getting the weapons either to, you know, keep him afloat. He's getting grenades and more grenades. He's getting nothing. It's a 4:14 going into Mutoid Man. Hey, he could be 20 seconds up. I mean, I'm dead serious. He could be 20 seconds up.
Yeah, the early death with bad recovery is definitely costly in time.
The rockets might help him salvage this a little bit. But as I mentioned, it's going to be over 20 seconds that Skunky's going to have to make up a deficit for. I mean, he's had the Mutoid Man work out for him, but he's going to really need it to work out for him because this is going to be a hefty deficit, Aquas. 29 seconds. Yeah,
one full spreader won't catch you up to make up all that time yet.
RNJesus did not get the ball buster. He was, you know, the Mutoid Man was staying to the south. He tried to get it there. He was not able to do so. Lobbers to start for Skunky.
RNJesus has been all lobbers so far. Well, and some empty drops here.
Oh, definitely there. More lobbers now. RNJesus has both arms popped up.
Oh.
First one popped up. There's a spreader, though. RNJesus is going to have to try to manual and is able to stay alive. Oh, but then, no, that Mutoid Man wanted none of those spreaders, Aquas.
Yeah.
It is more than a full form lead right now for RNJesus. Actually, it's increased. It's about a 2-form lead. Skunky needs a spreader, and he needs it right now.
Yeah, he really does. Time's running out.
And he's doing a good job here. It's just that the drops have been consistent for RNJesus. Final form now.
There's his spreader.
There it is.
But he can't. No, he can't.
Yeah, he can't do it.
Oh,
but
that
one. But this is dicey. This is dicey. Is the DPS going to be enough for RNJesus? Final form now for Skunky. What's going to happen here? This is going to be so close. It's RNJesus.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was closer than I thought.
Whoa.
Holy crap.
Skunky almost erased that 29-second deficit, Aquas, but RNJesus, by the skin of his teeth, 6:16, Skunky 6:19. He needed to erase 29 seconds. Skunky erased 26.
What happened at the end there for Skunky? Was getting that? He must have got that transfer damage.
He did. He did get the transfer damage, but it was just too little, too late.
Insane.
And the key in that match is just that RNJesus arena gameplay. It was much more crisp than Skunky's. And even though Skunky once again had the much better Mutoid Man fight, the deficit was just a little too large for him to overcome. He'll be sent down to the bottom bracket. And we are indeed gonna get that rematch from last year, and it is gonna be a doozy. CHX42 versus RNJesus in the winners quarterfinals. You're gonna wanna mark your calendar for that one because that is gonna be the rematch of the century.